Okay. Hi, this is Pankaj Gupta from EthAum Venture Partners. We are a deep tech revenue scaler and fund based out of Singapore with approximately 100 portfolio startups. Boatmate is one of our portfolio startups from the US slash Turkey that recently joined the program in August 2023. And you may have seen a bunch of startups seeking validation, seeking appreciation, but here is Boatmate looking for brutal, honest feedback from the industry experts, from the industry leaders. So, and that's why we are calling this roast the startup. You know why? Because the seasoned experts are going to provide feedback on the startup solution, on the differentiation, scalability, and provide insights to Murad live on live stream. So may I request Malt to first go ahead and do a quick introduction, please?
Happy to. First of all, thanks for the invitation. Great to be here and looking forward to hearing more about Boatmate. I'm from Flagship Founders, a venture studio in Berlin focused on maritime tech solutions for the shipping industry. Our main focus is on merchant shipping, less on pleasure boating, but nonetheless, this is highly interesting for us. I have a bit of a history in scaling B2C startups in the past, so that's actually probably closer to what you're aiming for here. And also as a sailor, I have a huge private interest in what you're up to. So looking forward to hearing more.
Thanks a lot, Malt. Really appreciate your presence today, and I'm sure that we are going to get a lot of interesting feedback from your side today. Marcus, may I request you to do an intro, please?
Yes, with pleasure. So my name is Marcus. I'm calling from Frankfurt. I'm partner and CSO for almost 6 years now at Redstone, which is one of the leading early stage investors in Germany. We have multiple VC funds, sector funds in particular. And I'm a banker by education. And in the past, I was also advising multiple, let's say, marine businesses, naval, marine, defense businesses in the past. So I was 3.5 years deputy head of M&A at ThyssenKrupp, and as you know, they're one of the leading shipyard, let's say, players in Germany, or used to be manufacturing of submarines, and I was also advising some of the leading luxury yacht manufacturers in Germany in the past. So I had some exposure to the sector in general.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Marcus. I think your experience is extremely relevant. This is definitely what we are looking for today. Fabian, may I request you to do an intro, please?
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And hi, everybody. My name is Fabian Krusek. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kaiko Systems. I'm calling today from Rotterdam, actually from board of a ship, on board a tanker today for a vessel visit. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Kaiko. We're digitizing the onboard operations on board of cargo ships. Have been growing to a couple hundred of vessels within the last 2-3 years. And yeah, super excited about Boatmate and to learn more about your journey and your vision, and hope to be able to provide some valuable feedback and observations. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Fabian. Ben?
Yes, thank you, Pankaj. So my name is Ben Lesage, and I'm based in France. I work for Sustainable Ocean Alliance, one of the largest ocean tech startup, accelerator, and investor based in San Francisco, California. We have accelerated and invested in 56 startups since 2018. And in my role, I am in charge of supporting our European portfolio of startups. And I'm also a sailor, so looking forward to it. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Really appreciate it. And Murat, as you can see, we have a panel which is pretty, diverse and from different geographies with different kind of experiences. So I'm sure you are going to get roasted well today.
So it seems like that.
Okay, so Murat, why don't we do this? Please introduce yourself and let's dive into the pitch deck. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'm Murat, co-founder of Boatmate. I'm a naval architect and marine engineer. I have been an entrepreneur in the boating industry and digital technology since 2007. My first initiative was to build the first hydrogen-powered boat in the world. We launched the boat in 2011 with a great success, and then I found an electric boat startup and then organic food marketplace. I had one small exit experience before, so basically I'm a serial entrepreneur and trying to achieve something. For the last 2 years, we have been working on Boatmate. Boatmate has become a pioneering marine tech platform in order to help marine businesses enhance their customer experience and streamline their sales. We have a basic marine business directory, marine e-commerce solution, and payment solution, and much more. We are basically working to create a digital platform to redesign untapped leisure, marine, and yachting industries. So that's me in brief. And I would like to also thank to Denise, Devin, Marcus, Walt, Benjamin, and Fabian for supporting this session. Very nice to have you with us. So try to punch me hard. I would like to see our weaknesses and identify the things, the strategies, or whatever that we should improve to make Boatmate successful. Thank you very much.
Are you planning to share your screen, Murat?
Sure, of course. I just made an intro of myself. Now I'm planning. Yeah, let me share the screen. Where is it? Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, please continue.
Okay, perfect. So again, I'm Murat, co-founder of Boatmate. And as you know, 90% of boaters are frustrated by the inability to make online purchases to communicate digitally with marine businesses, because marine businesses have a big digital presence and they keep offering a low-tech customer experience. So to solve the problem in the boating industry, we developed Boatmate. Boatmate is a digital platform that helps marine businesses in their digital transformation so that they can start selling and interacting online with a better customer experience. To consider marine businesses, which are marinas, technical services, cleaning services, underwater services, marine stores, and etc. From their perspective, Boatmate is a digitization hub that they can use turnkey e-commerce solutions and start selling online with a better customer experience, not only on our marketplace, but also on their very own website. So we basically provide them e-commerce solution to be able to sell directly to their customers with a better customer experience on our channels and on their own channels. On the other hand, from a boater's perspective, Boatmate is the ultimate platform and a one-stop solution for working with reliable marine businesses. So we provide a marketplace to boaters where they can find anything they need. So let's take a look at our market. Official reports indicate that the industry has a $400 billion economic impact. And by considering an average spending of boaters is, let's say, $1,000, 130 million boaters create $130 billion serviceable addressable market for us. So it's a giant market. And in terms of competition, it's a blue ocean market. So our main competitor is Boatyard, which was acquired by MarineMax a couple of years ago. We both have completely different business model. We help marine businesses directly sell to boaters with a better customer experience, where they make the marine businesses supplier of themselves and they provide the services under its own brand. So we know that having a great product that solves a problem is not enough. We should to accelerate the growth in the global market and create a snowball effect. We developed SaaS-based Boatmate Business Hub solution. So this solution is a kind of letting key players in the market, such as marinas, boat dealers, or insurance firms, to create their branded Boatmate. It's basically providing Boatmate as a service to key players in the market. So, for instance, a marina. they can leverage this solution, invite their trusted partners to its business hub, and provide anything their customer need on a single platform. It is basically a marketplace as a service, which avoids chicken and egg problem of a marketplace. So by this way, we transform the key players in the market and make them yachting experience firm. On the other hand, we let them unlock new revenue streams, and it, of course, boost Boatmate's global expansion by helping us acquire boaters and businesses by leveraging the snowball effect. So till now, we have received registration of 250 marine businesses and almost 1.5 thousand boaters for test period with a very limited marketing effort. We have made a strong strategic partnership with some important brands, and we have accomplished our public beta test in the Eastern Europe in the last summer. So till now, we have raised more than $200,000 and made a funding agreement for $450,000 with the European Innovation Fund. So our business model, it is a hybrid business model. It's based on earning from subscription and commissions from marine businesses. We achieved to surpass $100 million turnover in the next 3 years. So we are currently raising $1.2 million to expand US and Europe with the target of onboarding 6,000 marine businesses. This is a claimed marine business profile amount, and more than 200,000 boaters, and reach $25 million revenue in the next 2 years. So about the team, we are 2 experienced co-founders with 15 plus years of experience for each. Asim is leading the technical part. He is a PhD degree computer engineer, and I'm leading the business parts. So this is it. Thanks for listening. We strongly believe that Boatmate will be leading the digital transformation in the industry, and of course, it needs to be backed by visionary and passionate investors that eager to disrupt the industry. So I am ready for your valuable feedbacks and your, let's say, criticisms. I believe that all your experiences, all your feedbacks will be very important for us to make Boatmate much better. So thank you.
Thank you, Murat. Appreciate the quick presentation. And as he mentioned, he's ready to take your questions, feedback, criticism, and I'm sure appreciation as well. You can raise your hand on Zoom, or unmute yourself and then start asking question. Anybody who wants to go first?
Well,
Mark,
thanks very much for a great presentation and a very intriguing product here. I wonder how you think about the market, because it's such a wide range of services that are potentially covered, right? Insurance, marinas, boat yards, chandlers. Is there any part of that you would focus on initially, or are you going to go broad and try and build the Amazon of boating from the start?
Yeah, thank you very much. So it depends on where we are looking to a platform. I mean, if we just take a look at that and say that on the Boatmate platform there are different types of forward product and services. Yes, it is. It might seem like there is no focus. It's a bit distracted. But where we are focused is the technology part. I mean, we focused on marine e-commerce site, and let's say this e-commerce solution is suitable for cleaning services, diving services, technical services. So from a technology perspective, we have very focused approach. But of course, it helps a lot of different types of business to leverage our solution and start selling online with a better customer experience. So that, but of course, we on the marketing side, on the sales side, in order to attract all these businesses, we have some priorities. Priority of, let's say, categories. On that side, our main, let's say, target customer base on the business side is, first marinas, second the technical services, and it goes like that. But the technology is suitable for all of them. This is what we try to do. I mean, on the e-commerce side, on the payment solution side, we have tried to create something that covers the needs of different business categories, let's say.
Thank you. Ben, yeah, please go ahead. I see your hand.
Thank you for your presentation. My first question will be like on the need for such solution. So at the beginning of your pitch, you mentioned a number, 90%. So I was curious if you could maybe tell us more about like, like your journey, like to identify such a need from your users.
If I correctly understand the question, we let's say when we started when we started our journey, it was all about our, let's say, market research and gut feel. But then when we try to reach out to voters and try to analyze with, let's say, when we try to make some, let's say, analytical analysis, we made some surveys and so on. That's the reason why I let's say confidently say that we have 90% of voters complain about this and that. It's all about we come to that conclusion with some market research and with some analytical market let's say analysis by contacting with voters all around the world. I mean, voters from the US, France, UK, Italy, and so on.
Yeah, Fabian, please go ahead.
Hey, Murat, thank you so much for your presentation. And first of all, congrats to that early traction with that lean setup. I'm a huge fan of that kind of approach. My question goes a bit in the same direction as Malte's. So you have this two-sided marketplace, and I find it super interesting that you're trying to empower these small businesses to go directly to customers. However, you had two different mission statements. So first, when you did the quick introduction, you mentioned the mission statement towards the businesses that they lack digitization. And then in your introduction, you also mentioned that 90% of voters have this big issue. So which side of the marketplace is kind of the one that feels paid more, and which is the side of the marketplace that is maybe harder to acquire? And how are you using any hacks to get this early traction going on this two-sided marketplace?
Yeah, great questions. So of course, as you know, the marketplace, having a marketplace is something cool, but growing it is very hard work, because we have to, let's say, take attraction of both supply and demand, and it's time consuming. It's it requires a large amount of capital and so on, and we somehow need to focus on one side at first to create some momentum, and then with that momentum we need to attract the other side. What we have done is this last summer we put the marketplace in the market and tested it in the Eastern Europe with some small territory, and we have seen that it is not that easy to create, let's say, supply and demand at the same time, and there are some other problems as well. So in order to solve this problem, in order to hack the system and create something that can grow organically and exponentially, we made a bit of a pivot, let's say, which is, I mean, we started to focus on providing an e-commerce solution to a marine businesses. This is a change that we have done since the last August. First, we have, again, marketplace. Now we have marine e-commerce and payment solutions. So even the company doesn't, list it on the marketplace, they can leverage our e-commerce solutions and start providing a digital customer experience to their own clients. So this was very important, and it has started to create a big momentum, because right now the companies can use the platform and directly serve to their own clients. So by this way, we can gain boaters, and the company can use the platform in their daily operation. This is one thing. The other hack, which is my favorite, is once we were, let's say, connecting with, let's say, marinas or boat dealer or insurance firms who has large customer base, they started to say that a one-stop solution approach, the marketplace approach, is great. Can you do it for us? I mean, can you provide a white label solution for us? This is what I have been hearing many times. But as you know, having a white label solution is another business, and I personally think that it's not very scalable. That's the reason why we somehow try to get this need, try to leverage this need, and help Boatmate grow. So we developed a marketplace as a service solution. It is something basic in terms of technical approach. So imagine if you have a marina, you can subscribe to us. And once you subscribe to us, your customer can see Boatmate with some spatial branding of you. So you start talking with your clients and say that I'm not just a typical marina, I'm providing you a holistic yachting experience. So from now on, my clients can get benefit of being my client and get their needs all around the world with a couple of clicks. So this is a great approach for marinas, and they invite their clients. Also, they talk to their supplier base and say that if you want to sell something to my client, you should join my business hub. And then they invite their supplier base to a platform. And it all happens on our marketplace. So this is a great hack, the system. So by this way, we, let's say, eliminate the chicken and egg problem. And any marina, any boat dealer can create its own marketplace. It is a kind of win-win solution, We can gain boaters, suppliers, they can have a marketplace, unlock a new revenue stream, and it goes like that.
Thank you. Marcus, I see you have raised your hand. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So Murat, I mean, first of all, congratulations, right? I mean, I like the market. I mean, it's truly global market, right? 75% of the earth is water, right? So, which is great. I mean, what I also like is kind of the model. I mean, you have to know that we as Redstone, we are invested into Planradar, right? Which is actually very similar because it's a platform for the entire building life cycle, right? And we have actually all stakeholders in the building industry, from architects, right? And design, everybody's on this platform, and the growth is primarily driven through the end user of it, right? So he very often recommends the app to the construction company, right, or to the developer, and this is, as you just described, a chicken egg situation. Nevertheless, there's still a big challenge to scale business fast enough, right? And what I know is you need Salesforce, you need a funnel, and so on, right? And my question is, I mean, how do you actually prepare? What's kind of your setup scale your business, right? Because at the end of the day, it makes a huge difference if you sell to the harbor, right, or to the boater, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, just to clarify the question from my side, is it, I mean, are you, Marcus, trying to understand our, let's say, product positioning approach from a scalability perspective, or how we are handling the scalability process from, let's say, on the management side, I mean, on the, let's say, organization side?
And what I just described was, I gave an example like Planradar, which is building and construction, right? But it's very similar. And in this case, the growth of the app is primarily driven through the end consumer, the user, the craftsman on the construction side. Yeah. In your case, it would be kind of the boater who's driving it, right? But if you try to scale your business with all the boaters on a global scale, yes, I mean, you need social media, vast marketing spending. I mean, you have to accelerate your growth not only in Eastern Europe. Question mark, why you start with Eastern Europe and not with Saint-Tropez and Mykonos? I don't know. You know what I mean? So and it's really a truly global business, and we all know that all markets and regions are local and regional, right? And it's quite challenging to scale on a global scale. I mean, we know that in Europe in particular, well, you see what's happening with all the banks like N26, right? To open a business in Italy, Greece or Portugal is quite challenging, right? And for you, it's even more difficult, right? So yes. Are you planning to stay as a local company, or really trying to offer a global product?
So good. First of all, we're based in the US, and from day one, our primary, let's say, market geography was the US, with 15 million boat owners and with $230 billion economic impact of the boating. On the other hand, of course, on the Europe side, we have France, UK, Spain, Portugal, and it goes like that. The Eastern Europe part was only about the testing, because our industry is special, the customer base is very special, and the thing that we are trying to do, I mean, the problem that we are trying to do is, it might seem, let's say, simple, but we have very few startups or companies in front of us that we can benchmark. That's the reason why it is a bit hard to position the right product in the market, and it requires test. And in order to have the test with, at the lowest cost possible, and with the, let's say, with the most effective way, we prefer to do it on the Eastern Europe part, which we have, let's say, which we are familiar with. That's the reason why we tested here, but it's definitely a global platform. So right now, for instance, we are working on a very new version, which we have been developing with let's say, with the feedbacks that we get from the test period phase. So with that version, we will be embedding, let's say, a couple of thousand marine business database all around the world to a platform, and we will be start growing it not only in the Eastern Europe part, but also on the other geographic regions. This is one thing. The other thing is as you experience with your portfolio startup, the scalability has some challenges. We have some, of course, approaches. On the marine business, on the boater side, I mean, we are not betting the boater side on the scalability side. We are betting to a marine business side because from our experience in the market, in the test period and before, we can, comparing to boaters, we can we can onboard marine businesses easier than that. And we again created some solution that, for instance, marinas or boat dealers can use and create their own marketplace, not deploying another software on the same platform. Within this way, we can, let's say, acquire marine businesses and the boaters. So it is a kind of a snowball effect of hacking this scalability issue. So we are now focusing on the let's say business side, especially to some key players in the market, so that when we reach to a critical mass, and then the situation will definitely change, and the consumer side, the boater side, will be much more important, and will be, let's say, it will shape the future of platform in terms of usage. But right now we are mostly focusing on the business side to scale the platform. But of course, for the boaters, we have some very attractive features which easily boaters around the world can use, so that we're not just living the boaters, but mainly focusing the marine business side to scale the business.
Thank you. Malt, please go ahead. Yeah.
So I understand you're focusing on the provider side, the supplier side, but it's still a two-sided play in the end, right? And the real value will come from having two strong sides. What's the key value proposition you think towards boaters? Because you have got this wide range of services and products. I'm sure there are some that are more attractive or more easily marketable as you're building your user base. And how does that relate to the overall market? Is it a small share of it? You have a certain, very valuable core target segment here that you're starting off from.
Great question. So about the value proposition, let's say, for instance, boaters, when they need something, this can be a diver cleaning service or spare part. Normally, all around the world, mainly, boaters call each other and ask, do you know a Yamaha service in, let's say, Sicily? Or do you know a cleaning service provider around, let's say, Bay Area, let's say? Because finding the company's product or services online is not a simple thing in our niche. There is very, very, very limited tools, so that people usually call each other to get an advice. This is how the things are going in the industry, and this is an old school experience. All of us are using some apps or something like that to reach out to anything that we need. But when it comes to boating, there are not, let's say, widely used solutions in the market that helps you to find your needs. So this is one thing. And on one side, we are making it simple to reach out to companies, product or services. So boaters can use the platform, find their needs with a couple of clicks. This is one thing. The other thing is, in the, let's say, manual approach, in the old school experience, the reason why people calling each other to get an advice is all about referral. I mean, is this company good? Is this company provide service, in a let's say in a right way? So there are we help boaters to be able to access the reviews, share their experience with that company, and so on. So basically, on one side, Boatmate helps the end user to easily access companies' product and services, and they can check the reviews, place their order with, in a much more confident way. This is one thing. On the other hand, again, having a call or trying to get a referral is an old school thing. But imagine you are on the boat, it is in the middle of the night, and you just realize that you need to pump out. Okay, the let's say the savage tank is full. So you can directly use one solution and simply place your order without calling to company or doing anything like that. So we simplify the ordering process, one-stop solution and simplified ordering process. This is what we are doing.
Yeah, Fabian, please go ahead.
Yeah, so maybe a practical question. How does the last mile work? Like, is that some service that the individual businesses provide, or do you also help with the delivery? I'm not a yacht or boat owner myself, so I don't know how that works in particular, but are there, regional differences to that? Is that also something where you provide added value? Is it a service that you can maybe take over and capitalize in certain, hotspots maybe?
Yeah. Thank you, Fabian. So on the delivery side, I mean, we as a solution provider, we developed a different types of let's say delivery options. So when it comes to boating, it's not only about shipping the product. You can request a service on the water to coordinate, or you can request a service to a marina, to a particular dock. So we let marine businesses to be able to let's say customize their delivery options on the solution side. But when it comes to a practical delivery, it varies. Right now on the platform, there are companies that directly deliver deliver the let's say service to a coordinate at the sea, or there are some companies that only ship the product or deliver directly to a marina. We don't, let's say, involve in the delivery side because we try to position ourselves not the, let's say, service provider or directly product seller. We leverage companies to sell boaters with their own brandings and so on. That's the reason why we monitor the delivery process, but they handle the everything. I mean, they organize their delivery options. They organize their delivery service, and they can customize their delivery options on the system. It is something that there are some opportunities that we can let's say enrich the delivery part. Right now I'm in touch with some let's say last mile delivery companies or some kind of a shipping marketplace companies which you can let's say help marine businesses to be able to access different shipping options on a single platform. But what we do is just to monitor the delivery opportunities, and we only provide some flexible delivery options to the companies, and they handle the rest of the operation.
Yeah, got it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Fabian. Let's see, any other question or probably any insights? You have been in the marine industry for quite some time. There are also investors in the marine space. Probably some insights on the go-to-market, on the partnerships, on the scalability.
Well, I have another question if I may, on your target customers here. There are probably two segments or two use cases, right? One, somebody's in their home port or cruising around where they know pretty much everything, and two, they're on a voyage. They're somewhere else. Are you focusing on either segment? Is it away from their home?
Our main focus is the boaters who is, let's say, mainly cruising in their, let's say, hometown, let's say,
Okay.
safe waters. But the segment that you mentioned is very important, and we can create an amazing, let's say, benefit for them, because especially on the European side, because imagine, let's say, a French sailor is cruising to Mediterranean Sea, and if something happens in Italy, let's say, at the engine, it is very hard to communicate with Italian SME. So that imagine a multilingual platform that this can solve that communication problem. French can place the order in French, and the Italian SMEs see the all details of order in Italian, in Italy, and then so everything will become much more easier.
I understand. Now, if you're focusing on people near their home ports, right? Isn't it likely they'll know where to go, at least for the higher value products and services they'll acquire? And what does that mean for the value basically they can bring to people on your platform?
Yeah, what we have seen is that even if you are in your home port, boaters have very limited alternatives. Okay, once they started to work with some mechanics, and if the mechanic is good, they just bet on that mechanic, and but they don't know their alternatives. There are a lot of different companies that provide similar service, maybe in a better way, in a cheaper way. So we become an alternative. We become a platform that they can find an alternatives. And even so, let's say you have a let's say mechanic that you are working with. From a marketplace side, even if you don't prefer to, let's say, work with some other let's say mechanics, you can, if that mechanics digitize its business, you can simply place your order online. So normally, if you are getting service, it is always hard to make the payment, the money transfer or credit card payments sometimes become problems. Not sometimes, in general becomes problem. So imagine you place your order with someone, with a company that you have been already working with online. It's much more easier, and you can do it. For instance, we in our test period, the companies promoted the platform to their customer base and say that from now on, in order to place your order, please click the link and place your order with ease. We will come to you. This is how they advertise their online store that they created on Boatmate, and we receive amazing feedbacks, because okay, you can keep working with your own let's say company supplier, but is the ordering process, is the payment process. This is where we are making better. Again, there is a one-stop solution approach as a value. On the other side, there is an enhancing customer experience side. So
yeah, you really have two sides to that business, right? You've got a service for boating commerce, essentially, right? Anyone who wants to have a better user experience on their website, on their apps, etc. And that's probably an interesting business. I don't have any numbers for it, but I can imagine there's a market for that, especially in the small and medium-sized companies involved in that. And then there's this two-sided marketplace where you're aggregating all the boaters in the world, and it's got tremendous value for anyone trying to sell any products and services to them. I think one risk in this is you're playing two games at the same time, right? And you need to be very clear on what's your focus in the short term, and what's the longer term strategy around these two things. That's my takeaway for the moment.
Yeah, you are exactly right, and this is the hardest part that we are trying to let's say, this is our challenge, having a marketplace is good, but, that part is let's say is very challenging for us. That's the reason why since the August, I'm promoting Boatmate as a, let's say, technology partner for marine businesses. We help them to, let's say, sell their products and services online with a better customer experience by using our e-commerce solution. This is how I'm promoting ourselves, not the marketplace side. Yeah, I have one question, if possible.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, let's say in the last couple of years in the industry, I'm trying to, let's say, trying to find funds, VCs, angels that interested in the yachting industry or recreational boating industry, and it is very challenging. I mean, when I made my study, I have found just a couple of funds that are interested in these fields. So is this? I mean, somehow funds are not interested in the maritime yachting or, let's say, boating industry. But on the other hand, I when I look at the numbers, I see that it's the market is very big, very attractive. The competition in general in every, let's say, vertical, competition is low, so it is full with opportunities. Why the funds are not very interested in, or is it my problem? Yeah, is it something that I just can't find the right, let's say, investors? Are you seeing that the interest of the investors are growing on our let's say niche, or why the investors are not very interested in the yachting industry there? Because comparing to the other industries, the investor amount is very low.
Okay, that's an interesting question. And I think you should be asking these kind of questions because you are sitting in front of experts. So this is the best time to get their feedback, their insights. So Marcus, or I think Marcus has unmuted.
Well, as I said, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, all these markets are very niche and very local, right? It's not a really true global market. And the other thing is, as we all know, when you're shipping around Italy with your boat or sailing, it's mostly a cash business, right? So the question is, what kind of incentive should a mechanist have to promote your platform, right? Because what he doesn't like is transparency, right? Obviously. And I mean, we see this also with all these taxi apps, right? At the end of the day, it's a local market, and now, as you can see in Germany, right, maybe the taxi drivers, they hate drive now, and they all start to their local platforms again, right? Which is ridiculous because I hate it, right, as a consumer. But that's the point, right? I think maybe the Yamahas and the engineering companies or the insurance companies might have a proper interest to promote your platform, right? But at the end of the day, if the margin you're grabbing is too large, they will also be in competition with you. And the best example is Check24, right? I mean, when they got started, I mean, they liked it somehow because Check24 was selling their product, but then they realized that they're grabbing a big part of the margin, right? And then they were competing with them. So it's really challenging, right? But I mean, as a boater, I mean, I would actually like it a lot. But at the end of the day, as Malte, you already said, right? Usually when you're in your harbor, it's not a huge marketplace. I mean, it's a small thing, and you usually know who does what, right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. And for that reason, I think it's really important to really have the focus, and really think about which product you want to sell first, right? Bezos, he started with the books, right? But his ambitions were much higher. But books was great because of the storage. I mean, everybody knows the story. But the question is, what's your product, right?
Thank you, Marcus,
Oh,
for that feedback. Yep.
And along the same lines, if you're aiming to be a technology provider to local businesses, maybe ask yourself what really is voting specific about that, right? Because if you're a store that wants to set up some e-commerce website and app, you can probably use any kind of generic solution out there. So is there a voting specific angle to that would give you an edge over what's already on the market, right? Or would it make more sense to actually focus on the customer side, really, and become something like the booking.com of at least specific voting services, and maybe look at their go-to-market strategy also, how they signed up smaller hotels first before they got the big chains eventually, right? And I think it's really like a decision you have to take here. What's your best strategy for building something valuable?
True. Very valuable. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any last comment, any last feedback, insight before we call it off, before we hang it up? Okay. I think this has been extremely interesting conversation. Really loved feedback from all our panelists. Again, thanks a lot, Marcus, Malt, Fabian, Ben, Pascal, Madhu, for joining in the call and offering your insights to Murat. And I think Murat has been very brave because doing this kind of session in public requires a lot of courage. Again, as I mentioned earlier, that founders are always willing to take the appreciation, but it's very rare that they seek criticism and feedback in a public domain. So really appreciate your move, your initiative, Murad, and I hope we can reconnect in the future and support each other with different kind of initiatives. Yeah. So thanks everybody. Really appreciate your time, and let's reconnect soon. Yeah. Take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your kindness and valuable feedbacks. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you, and all the best, Murat. Bye-bye.